Hi Raj, welcome to the 10x Marketer podcast. Why don't you quickly introduce yourself and then let's get started with the questions, man.
Thank you, Gari. Thank you for having me in the 10x podcast. Excited to be here. As you mentioned, my name is Raj. I go by Raj Goodman. I own a marketing agency in the UK. We work on five continents, though, and it's called Goodman Lantern. We we live, breathe, and dream content. But also, as it happens, 20 years back, I was in a PhD program doing AI, artificial intelligence, which is around actually my love for video games. That's how I came into AI. Back then, people didn't even know what AI was. They thought it was a study of UFOs. Obviously, it's not. It's very much non-UFO related. Today, though, it's a very different scenario. People understand what AI is. People at least seem to understand how can they use AI, if nothing else, ChatGPT. So it made my life much easier. At the moment, though, I'm doing a lot of work in educating business owners and C-level executives on how to use AI for their business. So I go around the world talking about AI, but my core businesses are in AI consulting as well as our marketing agency called Goodman Lantern.
Awesome, Raj. So let me start with the very first question. Since we are talking about AI and AI overview a lot, how do you define AIO? What is AIO?
Well, AIO is a term we coined recently with the advent of AI tools, or what we call large language models, LLMs, taking over our more than our imagination, our whole life, whole digital experience. One of them is that we end up searching for things within these AI tools, whether they are ChatGPT or Perplexity. These tools are now used for searching as much as you're using outside on Google or Bing. Now that's great, that's awesome. Before this, we relied on search engines and we optimized our websites for search engines all the time. And that was what we call search engine optimization. In the advent of AI tools taking over our digital experiences, what do we do then? Because the same rules of SEO doesn't apply to the AI tools. And that's where the AIO term was coined, which stands for AI optimization. Now, it can be called LLM optimization, but AI optimization is a very simple to understand term, which even my mom can understand. So, keep it simple. And AIO, in simple words, is optimizing your website or digital presence for AI availability and uses.
So how is this different from search engine? Is it not the same concept that you have content you get indexed on search engine? Similar way you can get indexed on the AI models as well. How is it different from traditional SEO approach?
It's a great question. It's a great question, Gadai. Thank you for posing this. I'll say to answer your question, the simplest thing to do is to go and search or for a term or keywords in Google and do the same search on ChatGPT, obviously the paid version, because the paid version allows you to go online as well and wait for the answers. Typically, they are different. And if they're same, is because somebody, without even thinking about it, has optimized their website for AI. They're different because the rules for AIO or AI optimization are very different from SEO. The same rules don't apply. There are some common elements to them. We'll discuss it later on if you want to have a chat about that, Gandhari. The rules are different, and it takes a different skill set to optimize for AI tools. And this is going to become a very important field because people are going to start thinking about how do I come in front of my customers? They search stuff on Perplexity, search engines like ChatGPT, and also, by the way, Google. Google is launching their SGE search generative experience. So before you can get the answers on different websites, suddenly what is going to happen is they have this new feature which will give you the AI summaries of all the answers. And then suddenly you have different rules to play by. It's not again, it's not SEO, it's AIO again on Google itself. So every search engine every search experience is going to change in the coming years. Over to you.
So Raj, let's say explain this a little bit more, because I fully couldn't grasp what we were talking about. Let's say a traditional in a traditional search approach, you optimize the content for certain keywords and you start appearing in the search result. Now your expectation is people will look at the search result and then will click on the blue link and go to your website. In the AI, mostly it will be summary of what you have written maybe, and there's a little chance of somebody going on your website, or maybe actually taking an action outside the chat gpt, because they are searching chat gpt. The comfort of chat gpt is because they want to get answer then and there. So how does the brand benefit? By one, by optimizing for the AI. Second, does it really convert into clicks, sales, awareness, and other important factors which are important for the marketers?
Great question. And there are two different answers to this based on the size of the company or we're looking to optimize for. Let me start with the most common use case. As you will notice in these AI tools now, they have links available to all the sources of the data as well. The source data is available now. It wasn't available that much initially in the early days of ChatGPT, but now they are available. Also, to see the future of search, what it looks like, I recommend all your listeners or audience to go to perplexity.com, perplexity.ai, to check out the search experience there. It's phenomenal. It will summarize the information for you in text format, give you images, give you videos or map images as well, or map links as well. So that's the future experience. But they also have links of the sources as well. So you still have the same opportunity which you had with search engines, where you had the source link to your website effectively there. This time, they've taken the source from your website and summarized it for you. But people who are really keen to learn more will still click on the source link to verify it is genuine, the content available is actually what's available in this site, but also learn more about you. Well, let me give you an example. Say, for instance, you're based in Germany or you're based in the UK. Let's go London, for example. You have to buy yourself a luxury car, and you say, I want to buy a car for myself, luxury car for myself in London, and I'm looking to make sure that it's great for the environment, so it's electric. I'm looking for making sure that it is easily available. It's not stupidly expensive, but equally luxury. And now it will give you a variety of answers, right? Now these will be with the summary, but also links to the different sources as well. You want to make sure that you are there in those summary descriptions of that particular luxury car segment. That's one thing to optimize for, that you appear there. Number two is that your website or your source of information, whether it's a web page or a blog or whatever it might be, has the information to be able to pick it up from there. Because many a times it's not only the car company's site in this example, but also the summaries from other sites as well. And they will want to make sure you are the thought leader in the space in that area. So you need to think about more than just one criteria. How do you get your car there? Number two, your source of your website is there. And by the way, only if you have the source and the car information, you still want to appear on the AI, because AI will also look at your PR. You need to have a lot of kudos in the market to be picked up as a luxury car. So if you release a car tomorrow, for example, in China, and you're looking to get a lot of inbound links coming in for SEO just to go up, it is not going to impact your AI or ranking straight away. You have to build up the PR as well. And you need to think about what people will search for which you will appear on these tools. So there's a lot of research that goes into that as well. So effectively, there are multiple areas which I can go through, describe them what they are. But really, it is to kind of think about beyond SEO. inbound links, which was the main part, technical SEO, which is on-page SEO, and the content itself is not only the game now, it's beyond that. Over to you, Katari.
Okay, so the next question is related to what we have been talking about so far. I understand that it is very important for the business to appear on the AI search results. Now, in terms of urgency, how urgent it is, like, are they losing business already by not being there? Of course, they might be losing. Second is how important it is. And then for a smaller brand, what steps they can take? Is it a bigger players game? Because when you talk about PR, it certainly looks like a more skewed towards people who are getting the PR by being the size, right? So can you help me with some of these questions, please?
Absolutely, absolutely. So if I was to categorize the three important factors here for AI optimization or AIO, I would say first one is traditional SEO. Make sure our SEO game is strong. That is the same rules which apply for SEO applies here as well. Number two is a PR game. We need to make sure that we also appear in press, magazines, and actually have a brand built around that. Now, that tends to be a bigger game, but that's the evolution of our game potential for our brand itself. And the last thing, last but not the least, is understanding AI itself, knowing the tools which are there in the market, whom to optimize for, what people are asking, and what answers you're currently getting when you put those questions in there. That's a very tricky part and needs to requires building a mind map of all the answers you're receiving currently when you enter these different questions. So you need to make a list of all the different questions or different answers, and then back channel your way to create a okay, how do I answer these questions on my website? A bit like SEO strategy, the content strategy as well. What you do is you think about different questions and different answers, and you answer them on your website. Similarly, now it's a bigger challenge because you can think about not only the keywords but also the other words you can use to describe the same feeling or the same item or service or product. So you need to think of a big section of different offerings beyond just keyword, knowing which channels to focus on. Is it going to be ChatGPT? Is it going to be Gemini? Is it going to be Claude? And if so, why is that important for my audience? And then finally, your SEO game. If you get these three things right, you are on the journey to an AI or flawless capturing for your offering, product or service.
So let me repeat what you have been saying so far. You talked about technical SEO or the traditional SEO game have to be up. Then you talked about PR. Then you talked about checking the search results and identifying where you exactly rank or not rank at all right now. Are there any other factors which you missed out?
So there are many others which are part of SEO already. So traditionally, if you look at SEO, you need to have a fast-moving website which has the right content, enough content available which resonates with the audience, inbound links, for instance. You need to have it loading faster, to some extent, right metadata. That's already given. Number two, on the PR factor, you make sure that it appears in the right kind of magazines and publication or online offerings which are relevant to your market. So, for example, if you're selling laptops, you need to appear on digital electronic review sites and magazines and YouTube. If it's, for example, Gemini, for instance, that YouTube will make a big impact as well. It's been known that even ChatGPT scrapes YouTube videos as well. So you need to have influencers there. Again, this might be a big player opportunity, but planning for that would be super important as you plan your journey, looking at what's the first step, next step. So we talked about SEO already, we talked about publications, and finally, understanding the AI tools. You need to understand which tools are relevant for you. The biggest market right now is ChatGPT. 80% of the LLM market is captured by ChatGPT, followed by Claude, which is a small thing, and actually Gemini, which is a bit bigger than Claude. So you can think about which of these tools you start to optimize for, which is a priority, and why so. So, for example, if you're looking at a Microsoft partner, then ChatGPT is built into it. And then you want to think about optimizing for Bing.com, for instance, more than Google.com, for instance. So there's a lot of complexity which comes into you as you go deeper and deeper. But as a high level, the three areas, as I mentioned, SEO, PR, and knowing these AI tools. Over to you.
So the next question, Raj, is let's say in terms of ranking on the search engine, there is an interface. You have the search console. Bing also has its own search console. You know where you're ranking. You know what your position is. You have certain ways of controlling, removing the content, also adding the content, also optimizing the content. But there is no interface like that with when it comes to AI tools. At least right now, there's no interface to control the information, right? Whatever is there, you can't change it. Maybe you can, but you don't certainly know that yes, there's a possibility. So how does a brand control the narrative in that case?
Great question, Gari. So if you look at, there are two things which comes into the AI optimization. One is what we call the memory or the corpus of the AI tool. The other one is real-time inference. Let me explain that. When the AI tool is trained by giving it a lot of data, what it's doing is it's actually learning and it has different answers to different questions. So in this case, it will not go to the search engine to get your answer. This is the case we can only train when they have the newest, latest version of the training launched publicly. But this will become shorter and shorter. In the coming years, we'll see that much less training times are required to launch the next version of it. The number two opportunity is when you have a paid version of ChatGPT or use Perplexity or use Gemini, for instance, or you just do search on Google, for example, you have the opportunity to go online, live, get the live results. In ChatGPT, you would be going to Bing.com and Gemini be going to Google.com. And over there, so what happens then, the way it does, say, for example, you ask the latest value of Bitcoin, it will go through the first few websites of the search results of Bing.com. And if it finds the answer in the first few websites, it'll stop there and give you the answer. If it doesn't find the answer, it'll keep going down the Bing search itself. Suddenly, Bing.com has become as important, if not more, than Google itself. It's because ChatGPT by default goes to Bing.com, not Google.com. And so knowing that is super important, knowing which bit to optimize for and when. But you're doing two bits of optimization over here. One is for the corpus, which is the memory of the AI, which is built in, it's stuck in time. The next thing is real-time search, which is linked to SEO even more than we thought before. So you need to optimize for both these things. And to answer your question about the interface, I would say perplexity.com is the best interface to show you the future of search engine is going to be like. So looking to find the actual output of search engine is going to be a bit like that site now. And you'll see all these different sites will kind of become like that eventually.
Okay, so my next question is so far when we are focused more on the SEO, there has been only one prominent search engine. So when you talk about SEO, the default understanding is you're talking about Google. Maybe some part of it is focused on Bing also. But when it comes to AI tools, there are so many already, and so many new are coming. Even Meta is coming with on own AI tool, and then there are already so many in the market: Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT, and there are other variations of the tools. So if a brand has to focus on controlling the narrative, or the control the result that, or optimize the result that are coming on the different AI platform, in terms of distribution, where should they focus first, and why that categorization is important right now?
Absolutely great question there, Gadari. I would say the first step would be Bing and Google. Search engine still comes first because that will give you an upper hand in both the search engine for SEO and AIO. So start there. And by the way, just SEO itself is not easy. It's a very complex matter to optimize completely, as I'm sure your user understand. Obviously, you understand, Gary. So the first thing is SEO. Get that bit right. Number two is get out to your industry and your area of expertise. So for electronics journals, magazines, YouTubers, influencers, and if you are, say, car and you do car manufacturers, right? Equally, start to understand which tools are impacting your industry the most. At the moment, as I mentioned before, ChatGPT is the market dominating tool. It's obviously has first moves advantage. ChatGPT 4.0, latest model of ChatGPT, is one of the best models out there for almost every multi-reasoning, maths, encoding is just behind Claude uh, 3.5, which is the latest Claude model, but it stayed on top. Pretty much always is on top three for almost every different kind of scenarios. So I would say optimize for ChatGPT should then by default become Bing. Bing.com becomes your best friend. So optimize for that. That's the starting point. But as I mentioned before, AIO becomes more and more complex as you understand what's happening. Start to like query ChatGPT, start to query, for example, if you use Copilot within Microsoft, at the moment, that's still based on ChatGPT as well, OpenAI as well. So you're getting a double whammy opportunity here. You're optimizing both for the same search engine effectively. So yeah, so suddenly what's happening is search engines change the way they are. Google becomes less important as we proceed further, and Bing.com is where the opportunity lies. And that's the starting point. But then start to use ChatGPT more, query a lot, get a lot of answers from the different questions you ask them. Once you get that going, list them all out, answer this question by making content. And just FYI, if you're using AI only to create content for your website, be very careful. AI tools, especially Google, Bing, ChatGPT, don't like AI only answers. They want that you are using real human beings, having editors that the last 30% or so is properly edited by real human beings. Because imagine the only way a robot can learn is from human beings, and it needs that human input. We just keep feeding it garbage, generated using other AI. It's not going to help it to learn more. So it will not learn more and it won't give you the higher rank you deserve the content you create on your website. So actually use real human beings, at least the last mile, to make your content special, different, and have a bias towards your feeling, your thoughts, your unique company values.
Awesome, Raj. So that's a fantastic answer. Now, let's come to the next important part. How do you really audit your presence on different platforms? What are the key steps involved? Is there any documented process that brands can follow when they are looking for their presence on different AI platforms?
At the moment, it's a very upcoming and unique opportunity.
Hmm.
We have built some frameworks to kind of go through the audit process. And what we're doing is we're creating different scenarios for our clients and for ourselves to rank better for different search terms and queries or questions. But it's a long journey, and I would say initially I would say focus on two tools. If you can't do everything, focus on ChatGPT and Gemini. Why is that? ChatGPT is the de facto AI tool. Most people, when they say they use AI, they mean they use ChatGPT or Copilot. So that's again OpenAI all the way. Next one is Gemini. Why is that? Well, Google is launching what they call SGE, Search Generative Experience. So the AI tool on the top of Google as you enter the search term, and that will go to Gemini by default. So if you optimize for ChatGPT and Gemini, you're optimizing for a majority of the web at this point in time. We're talking August 2024. This might change, and topic might come in a big way and take market share away from ChatGPT. But at the moment, this is the way the market is looking. So enter a lot of queries, search terms, questions, these different tools, get the responses, see variations of those questions and answers, and see where are you ranking currently, where you're not ranking. If you're not ranking really well for those terms, understand what are the sources which have been picked up by these these AI tools to showcase your competitors and get into those publications, right? And just FYI, every time you do a search, you get different answers, right? But the sources are going to be similar, if not the same. So the same top 10 sources are going to come again and again in your different searches. So document those sources, get to understand sources which are being picked up. Each of these sources is now going to be valuable, more valuable than before. Why is that? If you are clicking after getting a summary from the AI tool, that means you're really interested in that particular subject matter and you really want to buy. So these sources are now 10 times more valuable than previous Google results on the first page. Implies that if you are not appearing on that particular source, do all you can to appear there. Buy ads, build bonds with these companies who have these sources appearing, and make a really good effort to appear on those areas because that's going to be prime real estate for your product or service.
Awesome. So next question that is part of the what we have been talking about so far is there a way or opportunity to monetize your AI presence right now? If not, then would there be such an opportunity in future? And then how the brands can make it part of the overall digital strategy, so that in future if there are opportunities to monetize or opportunity to gain the market share because of the AI presence, they are there.
Obviously, the opportunities which currently exist with SEO are similar for AIO as well. You still need to create third-party websites which are experts in particular area, and you showcase that by great journalism, great content, great insights, unique perspectives which you have, and obviously original content. That's still the the absolute most important part. Uh, eat sort of mindset. So you still have that going. That's not going to change. And obviously, the big opportunity here is to sell your product or service in the back of your appearing on these AI tools. So not to stop there, continue on that basis, build yourself as the expert as you would do in the digital space. The only thing now is that you can't just stop on the digital presence. The brand building has to happen in multiple platforms in diverse ways. So ideally, you want to be doing this on newspapers, magazines, radio, YouTube, all the things you can take. By the way, just FYI, ChatGPT is now buying data of third-party websites as well. So they are actually paying 60, $100 million to subscribe to these internal content created by third-party, like Reddit, for example, where they're buying this data. So even if you want to game the system and get more juice to your SEO, to your website, it's not going to help you that much because they are looking at third party sources as well, genuine user preferences and comments on these sites. So you need to get the influencer marketing as important as SEO because that will matter. And they will optimize it for one or the other. In the future, they might optimize more for people's recommendations over your website itself. So you can't game the system anymore. This is that time is gone. SEO days are gone. This is the AIO era. Let's think about genuine value add. So let's stop gaming the search engines. Let's start actually creating high value content for real people and not for just bots.
So it's quite contrasting that we are talking about high value content when everyone else is focused more on generating the more and more AI content and increasing the quantity. But at the same time, so when we talk about SEO, there are two aspects which are very, very clear. One is SEO for local businesses, which is slightly focused locally. Then SEO for maybe global players or people who play on, say, national or a global level when it comes to the presence. Now, do you think this or AI overview will have an impact on local businesses as well? Because I was recently searching the Meta AI on WhatsApp, and I could see certain results coming from my locality uh, when I'm asking specific questions about doctors. And as you rightly said, it is referring the Bing search results right now. So, would there be a difference for local businesses as well when it comes to AI in terms of traffic, visibility, and other important aspects?
100%. In fact, if as I mentioned before, Perplexity, if you look at Perplexity itself, you'll find that local results are appearing quite a bit as well.
Yeah, in Meta AI also, I can see a lot of local results appearing, and they're coming directly from Bing search results. Now, the next question is, right now it's a completely niche new field, and not many people know where to go to learn more about LLMs, how to optimize for AI. Are there any resources that you want people to refer to, which is like vetted, has the right information, and which can help people learn more about AIO and how to optimize their website for AIO?
Yeah, AIO is such a new field that's there's not a lot of content out there talking about it. It's going to become more and more important in the coming years, and people realize that their SEO is not helping them get more customers. Only they need to find a different way. And so I'm doing some content on my YouTube. Look for Raj Goodman as one term, or my website rajgoodman.com. I'm talking about AIO. I'm doing a lot of talks around the world. This year I've got about 40 different cities planned where I'm going around the world talking about AIO. So come see me, come have a chat. Find me on LinkedIn, for example. I put some stuff there as well. But I would say apart from obviously my content, there's some good information on X, which is Twitter in the past, as well as YouTube in general. You just go and find them. And I'm confident that in the coming years, we'll find many more AIO sources. At this point in time, it's still a very new field. People are still getting their head around AI. So AIO is going to be the next step in that journey of discovery.
Yeah, so awesome, Raj. I think we had a wonderful chat about AIO and how to optimize your website for it. Though it's a niche field and completely new, though new information is coming, you are also learning and teaching other people. So it's really good to know about that. Thank you so much for joining us on the 10x Marketer podcast today. It was a wonderful chat. Look forward to have you again in future if possible. Thanks, guys, for listening so far. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and share our channel podcast on Spotify with your friends and family members who also learn on the latest topic when it comes to marketing. Thank you so much, Raj.
Thank you, Gary, for the opportunity and good to be on the 10X podcast today.